Hey, y'all, let me tell you about the time I walked into hell disguised as a nobody and came out something else entirely. Picture this, it's 4:30 a.m., the air's sharp enough to cut, and my boots are slapping against the cracked concrete of Fort Carson's barracks, each step sounding like a judge's gavel. I'm Sarah Kane, or at least that's what they called me back then, just another scrawny recruit with a duffel bag held together by duct tape and dreams too big for my frame. The barracks were a pressure cooker, 20 guys and gals, all sizing each other up, and me? I was the easy target, skinny, quiet, with a thrift store jacket that screamed, I don't belong. First morning, Drill Sergeant Boone's voice ripped through the dark like a chainsaw. Kane, you lost or something? This ain't no soup kitchen. He yanked my blanket off, leaving me shivering, my old t-shirt barely hiding the scars I wasn't ready to explain. The room erupted in snickers, and Jake, Bulldog Carter, this 200-pound wall of muscle, leaned down from the top bunk, grinning like a wolf. Why don't you scamper back to whatever trailer park you crawled out of, Mouse? That nickname stuck, and man, it stung, but I swallowed it, kept my head down, because I had a job to do, one nobody in that room could have guessed. See, Fort Carson wasn't just boot camp for me, it was a chessboard, and I was playing a long game. 3 years earlier, I'd been Staff Sergeant Sarah Kane, part of an elite recon unit, call sign Sparrow, until a mission in Hellman went sideways. My team, my family, got sold out, ambushed in a desert canyon, 12 of us reduced to ash and echoes because someone tipped off the enemy. I survived, barely, dragging myself through 16 hours of dirt and blood, playing dead while traitors bartered our lives for cash. That someone, Captain Nathan Reed, the golden boy officer who walked away clean while I was declared Kia. Now here I was, dead, to the world, back under a fake name, because military intelligence had a hunch Reed was still playing dirty, and I was their bait. Every day at Carson was a test, not just of strength, but of how much I could take before breaking. Bulldog and his crew, guys like Tommy Vega, the hotshot who aced every drill, made it their mission to grind me down. They'd trip me during runs, accidentally spill my chow in the mess hall, laugh when my gear mysteriously ended up trashed. Mouse ain't cut out for this. Vega sneered one day, knocking my tray to the floor, mashed potatoes splattering like a crime scene. The whole mess hall howled. Even some instructors smirked, but I just knelt, cleaned it up, kept my eyes low. Only one person didn't laugh, Mia Torres, this tiny recruit with a spine of steel, who'd slip me half her granola bar when no one was looking. You don't deserve this, she whispered once, and I wanted to tell her I wasn't what she thought, but silence was my armor. Then came the combat eval, the day they thought they'd bury me. Boone paced the training pit, gravel crunching under his boots, his voice dripping with venom. Kane, you're up. Let's see if Mouse can squeak her way out of this one. Bulldog volunteered, cracking his knuckles like he was auditioning for a bad action flick. The crowd formed a circle, hungry for a show, and Reed watched from the sidelines, his gray eyes locked on me, something ugly flickering in them, like he knew more than he let on. Bulldog charged, all fury and fists, but I didn't fight like they expected. I shifted, let his momentum carry him past, his punch hitting air. He stumbled, roared, fight back, coward, and swung again. I twisted, took a glancing blow to the ribs that stole my breath, but used his force to flip him flat on his back. The crowd went quiet. Boone muttered, dumb luck, but Sergeant Chun, this quiet guy with a clipboard, scribbled something, his eyes narrowing like he saw what the others didn't. The real test came later, the gauntlet, Fort Carson's brutal obstacle course, designed to break you or make you. I was already battered, my hands bruised from weeks of accidents, my sneakers so worn they flapped like dying birds. The first obstacle was a 15-foot wall, no easy feat for someone my size. I took a running start, but Boone slipped, kicking the support plank away. Oops, he said, smirking. Guess you're climbing the hard way, Mouse. The crowd jeered, but I hit that wall at an angle, feet scrabbling up like I'd done it 1,000 times in places way worse than Colorado. I made it over, landed in a roll, and Chin's pen moved faster. Reed's jaw tightened, and I knew he was starting to suspect. The rope climb was next, 40 feet of pain. Halfway up, Bulldog shook my rope like a damn maniac, yelling, "Fall, Mouse, save us the trouble." My hands bled, my shoulders screamed, but I held on, inch by inch, until I reached the top. Reed was there, too close, his voice low, venomous. You're getting blood on my gear, Kane. Always making a mess, aren't you? Just like Syria. My mask slipped for a second, my eyes meeting his, and I saw it fear, recognition. He knew. I don't know what you mean, sir, I said, voice shaky, but inside, my heart was pounding like a war drum. I slipped on the descent, fell 20 feet into the mud, hard enough to make the crowd wince. Mia screamed for a medic, but Boone just loomed over me. Get up or get out, mouse. I pushed up, cradling my arm, mud and blood caking my face, and whispered, I'm okay. But I was ready. That night, I found my gear trashed again, rifle taken apart, vest slashed, boots filled with glue and dirt. Boone stormed in, screaming, Kane, you call this taking care of equipment? Reed joined in, holding up my ruined vest like it was evidence in a murder trial. This is taxpayer money, Kane. You accusing someone of sabotage. His voice was a blade, daring me to fight back. I didn't. No excuse, sir, I said, eyes down. But my hand found something in my boot, a worn challenge coin, a raven with the number 9 etched into its wings. My blood ran cold. Someone here knew I was Sparrow 9, and it wasn't just Reed. The next day, they announced a live fire exercise in the Black Pines, a dense forest marked off limits on every map. Reed broke protocol, riding in the lead truck, and I noticed new faces, not instructors, but guys who moved like contractors, eyes too sharp for drill sergeants. My team got stuck with the weakest recruits, kids who could barely aim, and Mia, who volunteered to stay with me. Someone's gotta watch your back, she whispered. In the woods, the air felt wrong, too quiet, like the world was holding its breath. Then a shot cracked, not paintball, but live rounds. A tree by Mia's head exploded, and she hit the dirt, screaming, Down, everyone down. I barked, my voice cutting through the panic, no longer the timid mouse. Bullets tore through the brush, systematic, professional. This wasn't training, it was a hit. I moved fast, paintball gun spitting rounds at muzzle flashes, buying time for Mia and the others to scramble to cover. Reed's voice crackled over a radio, cold and clear. Confirm the target. I need her down. Target. Singular. Me. 3 years ago, Reed sold my team out for $12 million, and now he was tying up loose ends. I flanked left, using the trees, my old training kicking in like muscle memory. One shooter broke, cover mistake. I hit him with a paintball to mark him, then dropped him with a strike to the throat. I grabbed his M4, real ammo, and fired back, calling out, Sparrow 9 engaging. Too late for a reunion, Nate. The radio went wild. Impossible, Reed hissed. Sparrow 9's dead. I saw the report. Did you? I shot back, moving before they could pin me. Or did you just leave me to die? A grenade launcher thumped, the round landing too close to Mia's position. I sprinted toward her, knowing I'd never make it, knowing Reed's men would cut me down. Then gunfire erupted from the tree line, not theirs, but ours. Sergeant Chin burst out, leading a squad of MPs, weapons hot. Military intelligence. Freeze, he shouted. 2 contractors dropped, the third hesitated, and I took him out with a knee to the gut. Chin's team swarmed, zip-tying the survivors, and I tackled Reed before he could bolt, slamming him into the dirt. Miss me, Captain? I growled, letting him see the raven tattoo through my torn shirt. You're dead, he whispered, like he could will it true. Funny thing about reports, I said, as MPs cuffed him. Sometimes they lie. In the chaos, Chin revealed they'd been watching Reed for months, suspecting he was still leaking intel. I was their ace, the dead operator who could draw him out. My recorder, a battered little device I'd carried for weeks, had caught everything: Reed's threats, his radio chatter, even a clip from 3 years ago, his voice confirming our deaths for cash. Package eliminated. Payment as agreed, he'd said, smug as hell. Now, that smugness was gone, replaced by mud and panic as MPs dragged him away. Colonel Hargrove arrived by chopper, his face like thunder. Someone explain why a dead operator's standing in my forest, he demanded. I saluted, wincing as my shoulder screamed. Staff Sergeant Sarah Kane, Sparrow 9, sir. Officially Kia, Hellman, 3 years ago. I heard Reed sell us out, crawled out of that ambush, and spent 3 years waiting to prove it. Hargrove's eyes flicked to my tattoo, and he saluted back, a real one, the kind you give to someone who's walked through fire. The recruits Bulldog, Vega, Mia stood frozen, their world flipped upside down. They'd hazed me, laughed at me, but they'd been pawns in Reed's game, a culture of cruelty he'd built to hide his moves. Later, in Arlington, I stood before 12 headstones, my team's graves. Got him, I whispered, placing raven pins on each one. Rest easy now. Chen handed me an envelope from Reed's desk, addressed to Sparrow 9. Inside was a photo Reed and another man, someone I knew too well. Marcus Tate, Sparrow 8, my old intel guy, supposedly dead in that ambush. The note read, 9. If you're reading this, I'm still out here. The raven flies where it all started. 8. My stomach twisted. Tate was alive, and he'd been pulling strings from the shadows. Kandahar. That's where he'd be, at the old FOB where our nightmare began. I could have walked away, taken a pension, disappeared. But those graves deserved better. So did I? I stayed at Carson, became an instructor, started teaching these kids Bulldog, Vega, Mia how to be soldiers, not bullies. Own your mistakes. I told them one morning, standing on the parade ground, my voice steady despite the pain in my shoulder. You followed bad leadership, but that's not who you are. Choose better. Start now. Mia nodded, eyes fierce. Bulldog looked like he might cry. Vega just stared, like he was seeing me for the first time. Now, I'm headed to Kandahar with Chun. Tate's waiting, and I don't know if it's a trap or a truth I'm not ready for. But I'm done being a ghost. I'm done running. This is my reckoning, and I'm bringing it to him. So what do you think? Ever been judged, underestimated, or caught in someone else's game? Drop a comment. Tell me your story. How'd you fight back, or did you? Hit that like button if Sarah's fight got you fired up, and subscribe for more stories of people who refuse to stay broken. Your support keeps these tales alive. Let's keep the conversation going. What's justice look like to you?